Hey everyone, I'm Chris with Createx Colors, and today we're going to address a big question, and that is 40-30 and 40-50. So in front of me I have our 40-30 Balancing Clear and our 40-50 UVLS Gloss Clear. Now these are both very similar in that they are water-based urethane resins, as opposed to the traditional system of our acrylic resin bases and colors. So we'll start with the 40-30. 40-30 was introduced right around 2016, and that was when we came out with our Candy 2.0 paint system. So we needed a carrier, we needed a medium for that Candy 2.0 system, and this was that product. It was a great product for it at the time when we introduced that Candy 2.0, and it was also a great intercoat, you know, a mid-coat between doing graphics and laying out subsequent tape outs and colors and graphics. We also, after we introduced this, started mixing it with our entire paint line across all Createx paints. We found that it worked extremely well in helping that paint lock down, giving it better tapeability and mar resistance, especially more suited towards what we refer to as automotive type painting, so harder surfaces, plastics, aluminums, motorcycle tins, tanks, things like that, helmets. And this is a great product. So now fast forward to 2020. And now after a lot of R&D, a lot of spraying, a lot of testing, and I can attest to that, we released our 40-50 UVLS Gloss Clear. And now this product has become our go-to and what we recommend for any kind of large gun application. It is, again, this is a urethane resin, but it's a little bit thicker in viscosity. And the film build that you will find when you're spraying our Candy 2.0 is phenomenal as opposed to the 40-30. It's fantastic. It's a more homogeneous mixture. It holds that candy in suspension. It allows for better application like a traditional candy would be applied. Again, this is larger applications, you know, like automotive type painting. You can really apply a nice medium wet coat of candy and it just holds that candy. It really keeps it where you want it. The sprayability, the film build, everything, the finished product is just fantastic. So now we get the question of which one. Again, what we ended up doing also was started spraying this in with the rest of our colors in our line, our pearls and our metallics, and I found that in spraying these, especially with the larger pearl flakes, like our Hot Rod Sparkles, and the Cosmic Sparkles, and even our metallics, the orientation of the metallic, the look of that Hot Rod Sparkle, it just had more depth. It just allows, again, because of that viscosity, that increased viscosity of this product, it just allows a better orientation across the board of those metallic colors, even the pearls. So we get that question, which one do I want to use? These are both great products, and Createx will always make the 40-30. This isn't going away. And what we're doing is we're saying, really, for an airbrush application, the 40-30 is maybe a better product, again, because that viscosity is a little bit thinner in viscosity. But if you use the 40-50, just keep in mind, you might have to reduce it a little bit more. So there's nothing wrong with that. So 40-30 is better, smaller tip sizes perhaps, as opposed to spraying out of the bottle. You're going to need to reduce it a little bit more with the 40-50. But generally speaking, the 40-50 is really what we like and what we prefer. Again, if you're using a smaller tip size airbrush, you're going to have to reduce it a little bit more because it is going to be a bit more sluggish just because of the viscosity. So both of these products are fantastic products, and when you mix them with any of the paints across our line, what you're doing is creating a acrylic urethane paint. So again, it's increasing durability, whether it's our Createx colors line, our airbrush colors line, to the Wicked line, even to the illustration line. You're creating a more durable product that is very well suited for automotive, what we consider automotive type applications. So I have a little bit of a demo here. I have a display. Now this is Createx airbrush paint. This is our opaque black. And now what I did here was mix it with right around 20% 40-30, and then the last one is 20% 40-50. Now this is applied over what we refer to as an aluminum tag, a sign blank, like a license plate blank, and this is an unprepped powder-coated finish. So I don't know if you can see it's got a pretty good shine on it. So this is right out of the plastic. Gave it a quick wipe with a little water-based wax and grease remover, and went right to it. So you can see I'm going to do a little scrape test. This is just the Createx right out of the bottle. And I can drag this over and it's going to scrape that. It's still stuck well. If I tape this, it's not going to come off, but I can scrape it with this paint can opener. Right? If I drag the same thing Over here, what I'm seeing is with the 40-30, all it is the ends here, just the overspray is kind of where it's coming off. So I can dig at this, and it's really not disrupting it anywhere near as much as here. Now over to the 40-50, I'm going to do that same thing, and it's kind of doing the same thing. It's just the edges of this product. Just that overspray that was kind of more dry spray from the airbrush than anything else. But right where that paint is in the middle, it's locked down. And this was not prepped, this was not sanded, this is just perfect in terms of, I think, a display of showing what the capabilities of the 40-30 and the 40-50. It just takes that paint and makes it that much harder for a hard surface application. Okay guys, in conclusion, to wrap this up, I did recommend, or I mentioned that the 40-30 is what we recommend for smaller tip size airbrushes. Really what I meant by that was, if you don't reduce the paint, if you don't want to reduce the paint, this is going to work better in terms of that. But the 40-50, since we've come out with this product, and I spent a lot of time testing this product and using this product and hours, and prior to this product existing, that's what I was using. I was using the 40-30 and everything for the metallics and pearls and the candies. And we were striving for that next level of performance. And when we came out with this, again, a lot of research, a lot of testing, and then almost too much in terms of that testing, we started mixing this. I started mixing this with the paint. And I was blown away at the performance. It really is a major difference in terms of how the paint performs for a large pearl flake carrier, for actually an inner coat. If you remember the 40-30 when it came out, it was actually called an inner coat. Now it's a balancing clear, because we found that if you over apply the 40-30, it starts to kind of haze out a little bit. It doesn't always stay clear. So if you apply this product, the 40-50, with a little bit wetter, like I said, if you're a little bit heavier handed with the application, this performs that much better. It stays clear. It just holds together extremely well. The film build is better. The sprayability, every attribute that we'd want in a high performance paint can be found with this 40-50. So again, we'll keep making the 40-30. There's a lot of people that like using it, but if we were to make a recommendation, the 40-50 is the way to go. So again, I think this is a great testament to that as well in terms of what you're going to get for performance-wise, and this is just a simple addition of this product across any one of our paints. Again, the 40-50 and the 40-30, they are compatible across the entire Createx line of paints. So I think that wraps this one up. So for any other questions you guys might have, you can check us out. You can go on our TDS sheets at creatextech.com. And for now, for Createx Colors, I'm Chris Arpin, and we'll see you guys next time.